In the Oak Haven community, a dark-colored car riddled in more than a dozen bullet holes on Chulahoma near Rain.
Big Mota finally does something freaking right, and it gets him killed.
People who live nearby, familiar with his music but didn't want to be identified, are surprised to hear about the shooting.
That's a trip there, man. I mean, he's a good guy. You know what I mean? Cool dude.
October 26, 2023 started off like any regular night in Oak Haven, a sleepy South Memphis neighborhood tucked behind winding streets and aging houses. Everything seemed calm, but once the sun dipped below the trees and the porch lights started glowing, something dark was creeping in, and it was about to explode. Jaron Rutherford, better known as Big Mota,
it's just like this, man. I got a good heart, but you call me, I gotta get you.
was riding through the area just before 9 p.m. He was behind the wheel of a dark-colored car, and riding shotgun was his close friend Travolta Cartel Jones Jr., known to most as TJ. These two were tight, always seen together around South Memphis. They weren't just street known, they were crew affiliated and familiar faces to everyone in the area. Nothing seemed off that night, no sudden moves, no signs of stress, but someone out there.
Memphis police say they responded to a shooting Thursday night in the 4100 block of Chulahoma, where there was a large police presence. Investigators say 2 people were shot.
Had other plans. Unseen eyes had been locked on them. Someone was lurking, ready to strike. And as their car cruised down Shelby Drive, the trap was sprung. Boom! A storm of bullets lit up the street. The vehicle got ambushed in a blink. An eruption of gunfire shredded through metal and glass. More than a dozen shots cracked out in under 10 seconds. It sounded like an automatic, quick, relentless, and deadly. Witnesses told dispatchers it all happened in a flash, then complete silence. By the time cops arrived, the car had already rolled to a stop. It looked like a war zone, windows blown out, bullet holes everywhere, doors looking like Swiss cheese. Inside, the scene was devastating. TJ was slumped in the passenger seat, hit multiple times. He was pronounced dead right there. No time for help, no chance to save him. Big Mota was still alive in the driver's seat, but just barely breathing. Police locked down the block fast.
Oh, fights every day, shootout, man. Skipping school, smoking blunts. Just, man, ruthless, no aggression, man. Bucking it. Like, thought that shit was cool when it really wasn't cool. Every day, man. We used to have guns in middle school.
Yellow tape wrapped around the street as a crowd began to gather, their faces filled with shock and fear. Something major had just gone down in Oak Haven, and it wasn't over yet. Friends, neighbors, folks who knew the faces, the stories, the streets started showing up. Some pulled out their phones, recording the wrecked car covered in bullet holes. Others just stood there, silent, stunned. A few cried. The rest watched in disbelief as paramedics rushed to keep Big Mota alive, stabilizing him just enough to get him to Regional 1 Hospital. For a minute, people thought he might pull through. Word started buzzing that he was fighting to survive, but the damage was just too much. Sometime after midnight, that hope disappeared. Big Mota was gone. 2 men in one ride, both taken out in one night. Just like that, Memphis lost another voice, and for many, this one cut deep. There wasn't a lot of noise in the press when it came time for Big Mota's farewell. No headlines, no cameras. But in Memphis, the word spread quick. His funeral was held mid-November, just weeks after his death. Social media lit up with photos of a glossy casket decorated with striking vinyl portraits of Mota on the lid and sides. It wasn't just a box, it was a tribute to someone who meant something in the city.
Fans and friends say Big Mota's music was making a name for the artist in the hip-hop community, and they call what happened to him yet another tragic shooting involving a Memphis rapper.
Ain't nothing I can say bad about him, but in this city, man, you get some type of shine on you, man, they gonna hate on you, and somebody gonna come at you some kind of way, one way or another.
One of the first posts came from the @Memphis Street News 901 page on Instagram, breaking the story with Memphis rapper Big Mota shot and hit in Memphis last night while riding in car. That was it. That's how the news broke. Local reporters later spoke to neighbors still shaken by what they saw. One man who lived nearby simply said, "He was a good guy, a cool dude." His words carried the weight of a community still trying to make sense of the loss. You know what I mean? Cool dude. That's what people kept saying. Friends and fans all agreed Big Mota was finally carving out his spot in the hip-hop scene. "Ain't nothing I can say bad about him," one of his boys said. But then came the truth that everybody in Memphis knows too well. In this city, if you start getting a little shine, somebody's gonna hate. Somebody's gonna test you one way or another. Big Mota wasn't industry polished, and he didn't care to be. He wasn't out here chasing radio hits or begging for major label cosigns. What he did have was street-earned respect and a voice that told real stories. His name rang out not because of big PR, but because of loyalty, pressure, and pain. He was born in the struggle, raised in poverty, and shaped by everything the street threw at him. From early on, he was hanging with older heads, skipping class, chasing that street rep before he even understood what it really cost. He was in deep before he knew the price. His big break came.
Never bring a knife to a gunfight. What you think cool? Not cool, like skipping school, smoking cigarettes, and just chilling with the older people.
Hey, I know you heard of this.
It wasn't cool. Like, this shit wasn't cool. Like, just don't let nobody influence, brainwash you, and manipulate you into something that's really, like, bigger than this.
With the Mo of this, Mo of that mixtape, that project didn't just drop, it stamped his name. He wasn't flashy, didn't rely on gimmicks, but his voice, it cut through like a blade, deep bass, aggressive bars, and raw stories that hit hard for anybody living that same rough reality. As he got older, Big Mota started getting known not just for his music, but for being that guy you call when things got serious. He was known as an enforcer, even a bit of a bully, and he didn't shy away from it. In one interview, he straight up admitted that he had a reputation for handling business for his people. "If someone in my circle had beef," he said, "I'd deal with it physically. No hesitation, no questions asked." He stood on what he said, and more importantly, he stood for who he rocked with. Big Mota's loyalty ran deep, but in the streets, that kind of loyalty comes with a heavy price. He didn't just ride for his own problems, he took on everyone else's too. That street justice mindset earned him respect, no doubt, but it also dragged him into beefs that weren't even his to begin with.
Man, you know, it's just my loyalty. It wasn't my. But if you my brother, we going through the struggle, we trying to rise to the top. If you got a problem with somebody, it's gonna get dealt with just cause that's how I am. I love you. I'm riding with you to the end. I'm just a loyal nigga.
And when that starts stacking up, you end up with a whole lineup of folks who either want revenge or just see you as a roadblock in their way. His ties to big street-connected rappers like Young Dolph and Waka Flocka Flame didn't help lighten the heat either. According to Mota, these weren't music biz friendships, these were street ties, real-life connections built outside the studio in situations way more dangerous than rap battles. Big Mota didn't just rap about the streets, he lived that life, and with that came enemies, real ones. His music was loud, raw, and didn't hold back, which earned him a name across Memphis. But that same reputation made him a target too. His name didn't just buzz in the rap scene, it was known in the gang world.
Man, I reached out the door. I seen him at the Mental Center. We was talking. He just told me to keep going hard. You gonna make it. And there was no discussion on you gonna get signed by me now. We ain't even come about to say about these. He was spitting my grind. He loved the way I go hard by myself. I talked to Flocka. We just be on the street shit. Really, I talked to Flocka, Gates, dog. But it really wasn't on the other shit. Sign me type shit. They just me. They told me to keep going.
Both Mota and his boy Travolta TJ Jones Jr. were known members of the Young Mob, short for Young Mob Military, a South Memphis-based clique that had its own history in street rep. Being tied to a group like that meant one thing: drama was never too far away, and things got real after one high-profile run-in that grabbed headlines. Back in late 2015, Washington, D.C. rapper Shy Glizzy came down to Memphis to perform at a local club. But the night took a wild turn. A confrontation between entourages popped off, and it didn't stay verbal. Tensions exploded, and next thing you know, the situation turned violent. Gunshots went off. That altercation stamped Big Mota's name in headlines and may have also painted a target on his back in a whole new way. Allegedly, Shy Glizzy's flashy, diamond-studded Glizzy Gang chain got snatched that night, and it didn't take long before rumors pointed fingers. Word hit the streets that Big Mota and a Memphis associate named D Money Stacks were the ones behind the bold move.
I got into it with another, you know what I'm saying? I was popping, whatever the case may be. But we got into it. That ain't never snatched my chain off my neck. He ain't never come up to me, approach me on a, he approached me, I pushed him, we got into a little scuffle. My shit came off, but the that was telling me to top in, them niggas that had them off chain the whole time. So like, it's like, why the you know what I'm saying, top in what? Some is that, you know what I'm saying, on some scheme and shit like this. So the whole play was put together.
The chain snatching incident made serious noise. It wasn't just local talk, it went viral across rap blogs and media. Suddenly, Big Mota had a whole new level of infamy attached to his name. This wasn't some random scuffle, it was an audacious move aimed at a nationally recognized artist. And in the rap world, that kind of flex doesn't go unnoticed. Eventually, word is that some OGs from Memphis, allegedly folks in Yo Gotti's circle, stepped in to cool things down. They reportedly helped return the chain and squash the beef behind the scenes. But the damage was done. The stunt gave Big Mota that bully label in the streets, whether he wanted it or not.
We were parked right here. So we went to the mall to buy some kids shoes. My little girl had just turned 1 named Kayla. Yep, so we were walking to the mall. We in the mall, we got a fight with a couple of other dudes. Nah, this how it happened. We went to Foot Locker. Somebody came and got T-Bone and said, hey, them niggas, we got 2 in here. So we synced them, we popped it off, got the jack. Boom, 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 boom. They run past, fly right here in the mall, they run.
The buzz also stirred up more heat, possibly pushing new enemies to come for him just to test his rep. And that wasn't the only situation that kept Big Mota in the crosshairs. Another storm followed him from years earlier, this time tied to one of his closest friends. Back in February 2010, Mota's boy Terrell Loveton got into a deadly fight at Southland Mall. After getting into it with a security guard, Loveton was pinned to the ground, but somehow broke free and fired a shot right into the guard's chest. That guard didn't survive. Surveillance footage captured everything. Loveton was arrested and later convicted of second-degree homicide in 2011.
The security guard, which is a black man, that's a father, that's a child, somebody's son, somebody's brother, somebody's grandson that loved him. This was a working man, got up, put his boots on, went to work. Because he restrained Big Mota homeboy, he dies for it.
During the investigation, Big Mota gave his version of what happened. He didn't try to twist it. He just told the truth. Everything was already on video, clear as day. But in the eyes of the streets, that was enough to label him a snitch. Even years later, some folks in Memphis were still whispering that Mota snitched on his best friend. Mota never ducked the talk. He fired back, reminding everyone that it was all caught on camera. But no matter how real the facts were, that street rumor stuck like glue, and it followed him all the way to the end. Regardless of what he said or didn't say, Big Mota only repeated what was already on tape. But in the streets, that doesn't matter. Once you get labeled a snitch.
Early morning shooting in Whitehaven, and it's caught on surveillance camera. You see that Camaro at the gas pump?
It's like a stain that never fades. That tag can flip allies into enemies overnight. After the mall incident, whispers started that Mota's position in Young Mob wasn't what it used to be. Resentment started building, and betrayal, that can turn deadly real fast. Some people believe certain folks never let it go, that they saw Mota's cooperation as a straight-up violation, and if that was the case, retaliation might have just been a matter of time. But not everyone agrees that the snitch talk was behind what happened to him. Around Memphis, the streets had a different theory brewing. Many started pointing fingers at a rival crew, KSBG. That's short for Knocking Stuff Back Gang, a name that says it all. This group, rooted deep in South Memphis, especially around Kingsgate and Whitehaven, was known for one thing: enforcing respect through retaliation. Word spread that the ambush on Big Mota and TJ wasn't about betrayal, but revenge. The theory? It was payback for the earlier death of one of KSBG's members, a man known as Big Gray. Flashback to a cold morning in the Whitehaven neighborhood. A man was gunned down at a gas station on the corner of Hermitage and Winchester. Surveillance footage caught everything. It showed a woman stepping out of a black Camaro, casually walking away, and then a silver Infiniti pulling up. Moments later, gunfire tore through the silence. It was quick, deadly. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. Cops didn't name any suspects right away and no motive was released, but the footage started spreading online within hours. and with it came the street theories. Some people started connecting dots. They believed Big Mota might have been involved in the Whitehaven shooting and that the ambush that took his and TJ's life was direct retaliation for that gas station hit. Whether true or not, one thing was clear: this wasn't random. Somebody wanted Big Mota gone, and they planned it like professionals. According to the street version of events, someone tied to that gas station hit didn't wait on justice. They tracked Big Mota down themselves. They found out what he was riding in and made their move. The police, they kept it quiet. No major details, no suspect name, no persons of interest, just another homicide case and a public call asking for tips. After that, the case went cold, just silence. Still, the way it all went down spoke volumes. It wasn't sloppy, it wasn't random. Whoever did it moved with precision. Rapid gunfire into a moving car on familiar turf, that screams planning. They knew exactly where Mota would be, what he was driving, and the perfect time to strike. This wasn't some drive-by gone wrong. It was a straight-up hit, personal and targeted. Even with all that, Memphis police haven't confirmed any gang ties in their public reports. No surveillance footage has been released. No ballistic updates, nothing concrete. To this day, no arrests, and for a lot of people in the city, that's just how it goes. Another life gone, another name added to the list, another case fading into silence. Rest in peace, Big Mota. If you found this story eye-opening, drop a comment below. What do you think really happened that night? Was it street justice, old beef, or something deeper? Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear the real Memphis stories. We've got more coming, so don't miss out. See you on the next one.